Let's take a look at inserting content using jQuery. So jQuery provides several functions for inserting content into the document and for modifying the document object model's DOM tree. And you can insert content into the document before and after existing page elements. You can also insert content inside of elements. There's a bunch of functions to do this, so let's go over them. Append and prepend functions allow you to insert content inside of other elements. So the append function takes the content here, and that will append the content inside every one of the matched elements that this function is being called on. Conversely, the prepend function will take content and put it at the beginning of the inside of every matched element. The append to and prepend to work pretty much the same way, although they are called on jQuery selectors. So in this case, you're specifying the content to append. In this case, you're saying, here's the set of matched elements I want to append or prepend content to. So that's for inserting inside of elements. The after and before are kind of analogous to the append and prepend functions. So the after function takes content and inserts it after each one of the matched elements. And the before function inserts content before each one of the matched functions. And we saw an example of the after function in one of our previous lessons when we were building our annotated page links. The insert after and insert before, again, they work the same way, only in this case, they take jQuery selectors to insert matched elements before or after another set of matched elements that will match this selector. Let's take a look at some examples and we'll see how this works. Here in the exercise files folder, I'm going to open up the inserting start file, and this is the finished version right here. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to open this up in my editor. Okay, so you can see that we're back using pretty much the same document that we've been using for a couple of different examples now. This is the one with the unordered list and some paragraphs. So here's what we're going to do. Let's jump back over to the source code. Let's try out some of these functions. So first thing I'm going to do is write a jQuery statement for paragraphs. So I'm going to get all the paragraphs in the document, and I'm going to append some content to them. And what I'm going to append is a string that says with some content appended. Okay, so if we scroll down, you'll see that this is paragraph 1, this is paragraph 2, and we're going to add this string onto the end of each one. All right, so let's go ahead and back out to the browser. I'm going to start this up. And you can see what happened was each one of the paragraphs now has the string with some content appended on it. That content was appended to each one of the matched elements. And in this case, let's go back to the code, we have all of the paragraphs. If I were to do something like a filter like last or first or something, then only those paragraphs would have been affected. Okay, so let's try something else. Let's do the opposite. Let's do P, only this time we're going to prepend. We're going to write hello. Okay, so now the same thing is going to happen this time. We're going to save, and we're going to go back out to the browser. Okay, so now when we refresh, you can see that in this case, the word hello has been prepended or inserted at the beginning of each paragraph. Back to the code. Let's get a little more fancy. What we're going to do now is we're going to use the append to and prepend to functions for manipulating the DOM tree. So what we're going to do is write a jQuery accessor that says, hey, get me the last paragraph and append that to the first paragraph. Let's save that, go to the browser, and see what happens. We're going to refresh. And you can see what happened is paragraph 4, which used to be down here at the bottom, has now been appended to paragraph 1. So we took the last paragraph and appended it to the first. Let's do a variation on that theme. Comment this one out, but use it as the basis for the next one. What we're going to do in this case is we're going to say, instead of append to, we're going to say prepend to. Okay, so now we're going to save. Go back to the browser. So now I'm going to refresh it, and you can see now that the last paragraph has been prepended in front of the first paragraph. Okay, so I think you pretty much get the idea. This pretty much wraps up using the content inserting functions. That should give you an idea of how you can insert content into your document and use these functions to move elements around within the DOM tree.